We are standing here in the Louvre Abu Dhabi to see a monumental retrospective of a modern master Picasso the figure, running until May 31, 2026. The banner unfolded beneath the dome of the Louvre Abu Dhabi reveals the narrative of the figure, a subject Picasso explores throughout his entire life. Join me in shifting your gaze from left to right. As we move past the fragmented figures of the 1930s and 40s on the left, and the 1911 painting Woman with a Mandolin, the pinnacle of analytical cubism in the center, we arrive at the classical 1918 portrait of Madame Rosenberg on the far right. In doing so, we are actually walking backwards through Picasso's timeline. This dramatic shift from the vanguard of abstraction to elegant realism is known in art history as the return to order. There are three reasons why this pioneer of abstraction returned to the past. First, exhausted by the horrors of World War I, he sought inner healing by fully restoring the shattered human body. Second, during a trip to Italy in 1917, he was completely overwhelmed by the profound vitality of classical art. Third, his marriage to Olga Hoklova introduced him to high society, and he wished to capture their elegant daily lives using realistic lines. This return was not a mere regression, but rather a master's fierce record of overcoming the wounds of war and reconstructing the eternity of classical art on a modern canvas. I invite you to experience firsthand in today's exhibition the ultimate completion of the figure, an achievement that can only be reached by an artist who has thoroughly destroyed form. You might wonder why the word figure was chosen as the title for this landmark exhibition. The answer is that Pablo Picasso, despite pioneering abstract movements like Cubism, was fundamentally a painter of the human form. Over his 70-year career, even in his most radical experiments where reality seemed completely shattered, the human figure remained at the absolute center of his artistic universe. Let us focus on this breathtaking monumental piece from 1938, Femmes, leur, Toilette. Notice its overwhelming scale, nearly 3 meters high and 4.5 meters wide. But I invite you to step closer. This is not merely an oil painting. It is a massive collage, constructed entirely from various patterned wallpapers. Picasso took an ordinary everyday material and elevated it into a dynamic masterpiece. Now turn your gaze to the 1947 piece, Woman in an Armchair. Here, the human anatomy is boldly reconstructed with stark lines and vibrant geometry, creating a hybrid of reality and imagination. Despite this extreme visual distortion, feel the profound emotional resonance in both pieces. In Femmes, leur, Toilette, there is an intimate, almost theatrical dynamic as the women groom themselves and hold a mirror, perfectly capturing a private domestic moment through a cubist lens. In Woman in an Armchair, the sitter doesn't just rest, she commands the space, conveying a deep psychological intensity. Picasso was constantly exploring materials to express these emotions. He even used recycled Christmas wrapping paper in some portraits to add a playful three-dimensional texture to the human form. Historically, these works represent a masterful evolution of how humanity sees itself. From the classicism of his 1923 portrait of a seated woman to the psychological depths of surrealism, Picasso completely reinvented representation. Yet he never completely abandoned his figurative foundation. This radical language crossed borders. As highlighted in our curatorial talks, this interconnected artistic dialogue deeply influenced global modernism, echoing powerfully in the works of renowned Arab artists like al-Azzawi. Observe the composition in these masterpieces. There is no single comforting focal point. Picasso eliminates the illusion of deep space, forcing the background and foreground to aggressively collide on the canvas. It is a brilliant, unsettling balance. As you explore the rest of the galleries, remember that for Picasso, the human body was the ultimate canvas for exploring modern art's most enduring themes: love, identity, creation, and transformation. Please enjoy the exhibition.